Welcome back, story friends. Have you ever been to a library? It's a place that smells like old paper and adventure. Usually you have to be very quiet in a library. You have to use your whisper voice. But today we have a story about a place where the rules got bent just a little bit. This is the story of a very unlikely visitor. Let's begin. In the heart of a little town stood a grand library. It was a place of order. Books were returned on time, feet didn't run, and voices were always soft. That was Miss Merriweather. She loved the library more than anything, and she loved the rules most of all. One morning, while Miss Merriweather was alphabetizing the biographies, something strange happened. A shadow fell over the reading rug, a very big shadow. At the door stood a lion, a real, giant, golden-furred lion. He walked in on his soft, quiet paws. He looked around at the storybooks, the cozy chairs, and the warm sunbeams. He liked it. The children gasped. The adults froze. Mr. Peck, the clerk, ran to hide behind the returns desk. But Miss Merriweather walked right up to the lion. She didn't scream. She just looked at him over her glasses. The lion looked at her with big, kind eyes. He opened his mouth and let out a tiny, quiet puff of air. He was trying his best. Soon, the lion became part of the library. He didn't roar. He didn't run. He was the quietest visitor of all. In the mornings, he would dust the encyclopedias with his bushy tail. In the afternoons, children would climb onto his warm back to reach the top shelves. The lion loved the story hour the most. He would sit perfectly still while the librarian read tales of faraway places. But one day during story hour, something went wrong. Miss Merriweather reached up to put a book back on the very top shelf. The stool wobbled. She fell to the ground with a thud. She winced in pain. The children didn't know what to do. The lion knew. Someone had to get help. But there was a rule: no roaring. The lion looked at Miss Merriweather, who was hurt on the floor. He knew that if he roared, he would be in trouble. He might never be allowed back in the library, but Miss Merriweather needed help. He took a deep, deep breath, and he did what lions do. The windows rattled, the books shook on their shelves. Mr. Peck came running. But when Mr. Peck turned around, the lion was gone. He had walked out into the rainy afternoon. He thought he had broken the rules forever. The next day, the library felt different. It was too quiet. The tall shelves were dusty. The children tried to reach the top books and couldn't, but no one knew how. Miss Merriweather sat at her desk, but she wasn't shushing anyone. She was looking out the window, waiting. Finally, Miss Merriweather couldn't wait any longer. She grabbed her umbrella and limped out into the rain. She found the lion sitting under a big oak tree, looking at the ground. The lion hung his head. The lion looked up. Miss Merriweather patted his big, wet mane. When they walked back through the library doors, the children cheered. The lion was home, and while Miss Merriweather still said "shh" to squirrels who chattered, she always smiled when the lion gave a tiny, rumbling purr. Because sometimes the best friends are the ones who break the rules for the right reasons. Isn't that a wonderful story? It reminds us that rules are important to keep us safe, but kindness is the most important rule of all. If you enjoyed this story, give this video a big thumbs up. And if you want to hear more tales about friendship and adventure, click the red subscribe button and the bell so you don't miss the next story. What animal would you want to find in your library? Tell your grown-up to write it in the comments below. I'll read some before the next story. Until next time, story friends, read loud, dream big, and always be kind. Bye-bye.